Today is Sunday, the first day of March in the year of our Lord 2020. And my name is John Barakuro. I bring revolutionary greetings to all and sundry. My dear brothers and sisters of the once independent territory of Southern Cameroons that we now preferably call Ambazonia, I bring you greetings. I am coming today to bring a strong reminder about the demonstration that is coming up on the 6th of March. That is just 5 good days away from today in Washington, D.C. That demonstration is absolutely important, very important for all of us Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians living in the United States of America, especially those who live in Maryland, in Virginia, in Washington, D.C., in Delaware, and in other neighboring states. It is important to make this rendezvous simply because we have complained more than enough that the mainstream international media has not taken the kind of interest that it is supposed to take in what is ongoing in the Southern Cameroons, in the ongoing massacre of our people. My dear brothers and sisters, what happened in Gabo and has continued to happen in that same Gabo and what unfolded in Babanke over the past few days is a very clear reminder of the fact that if we do not take our destiny into our own hands, we definitely are going to have only our eyes to cry. We have been fighting very solidly for 3 years and counting. But my dear brothers and sisters, it is time now to ensure that we make the kind of impact that we need to make. The world has proven to us that they are extremely slow to action. We have to push the world into action. We have to get tired of mere speeches and resolutions of people here and there or in international meetings here and there. We have to demonstrate that we are tired of sterile calls on Mr. Paul Biya, who continues to perpetrate genocide on our land to investigate his own actions. And we see him going out clearly to eliminate all those who can testify, who should be able to get out there and tell the world exactly what happened. My dear people, we have really come to a point in this liberation movement where it is action, 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 and permanent action that will help. We have spoken to ourselves more than enough. I think each and every one of us should become an agent of mobilization, should become an ambassador of the message that the time for us to continually be on the streets to make the world restless is now. Take note, if we want to come out there only leisurely once in a while, and then we go back and take our rest and expect that we are going to hit the chord, I'm afraid it will take us much longer than we should really love it to happen. And the longer it takes, the more people will lose on a daily basis, because Mr. Paul Biya's government has demonstrated more than enough that the killing machine is not ready to stop. No, not anytime soon. That despite all the noise, that despite all the screaming, the army of that country will continue killing babies, killing women, killing the vulnerable people. They will continue burning our villages, without any remorse. Because Mr. Paul Biya, as I said before, studied diplomacy in France. That is the only degree he has in international relations. Mr. Paul Biya knows how the international system works very well. Mr. Paul Biya knows that the international system is so slow to action. He knows that they will continuously make noise, noise and noise and noise again. My dear people, we will need our collective will. We will need our collective participation. We will need collective action to force the world into action. We will first of all have to take our destiny into our own hands and continue to come to the rescue of our brethren by day and by night, both morally, financially, and physically, while waiting for that moment when the kind of change we require comes in. I have said this more than ever before. We must, among ourselves, behind the scenes, build those strategies, the solid strategies that will help us overcome the challenges before us. Reliance on the intervention of the international community is a good thing, but that should not be the only thing that we will count on. We must first and foremost count on ourselves. Let us begin first of all by doing those things that require no cost, by doing those things that we can easily do by ourselves. And one of those things is creating that awareness that is indispensable in ensuring that we get to where we want to get to. And one of the ways of creating that awareness is being on the streets there and demonstrating permanently, regularly, ever so often. That is why when I was asking about the need to harmonize the dates of the 6th of March and the 13th of March for the demonstrations earmarked in Washington, D.C., I was quickly reminded that by Mr. Akuru, you have kept saying we need to be on the streets there permanently. So there is nothing wrong with us demonstrating on the 6th before Fox News and MSNBC in Washington, D.C., and then demonstrating on the 13th in what is being called the Million Man March before the White House, still in Washington, D.C. And I said, yes, that is a brilliant idea. For now, I lay emphasis on the demonstration of the 6th because that is the closest one. Take note, for those of you who must be there, the address is 400 South Capitol Street, Northwest Washington, D.C., and the zip code is 20003. That is 20,003. The time is 12 noon to 4 p.m. And that is on Friday, the 6th of March. Like I said again, that will be in front of Fox News and MSNBC. And for those of you, or for those of us, who are already out there saying, oh, we don't need this demonstration, they don't matter. And for those of us again, who are also out there saying that, oh, I'm already tired about this whole thing, we should just look for a place and surrender and stay quiet. And for those of you who say, I'm indifferent, don't call my name, don't involve me, I just want to keep watching, I'd like you to share this message from Joan of Arc with me. Joan of Arc says, I know this now. Every man gives his life for what he believes. Every woman gives her life for what she believes. Sometimes people believe in little or nothing. One life is all we have, and we live it as we believe in living it, and then it's gone. But to surrender what you are and live without belief is more terrible than dying. You get that? But to surrender what you are and live without belief is more terrible than dying, even more terrible than dying young. You must at least have something that you are ready to die for. This re-echoes Martin Luther King Jr. when he says, if you have not found what you should die for, then your life is not worth living. If you are a Southern Cameroonian, you have a heart, you have a conscience, and you are seeing what is happening to our people on ground zero on a daily basis, and nothing pricks your mind that you should arise and join those who are at least doing only what is very easy to do. Take your legs, your head, your hands, and everything, and move to a place and cry out, let the world see. Then definitely there is something wrong with you. I'm launching this clarion call. Let us take this rendezvous. Let us be in Washington, D.C. on the 6th of March, beginning at midday, right up to 4 p.m. Let us go out there. Take the story to Fox News and to MSNBC. I know there will be a moment we'll also have to take it to CNN. Take the story to them. They have refused to come to us. Let us run after them. Let us take the story to their doorsteps, and we see whether they will not be forced to talk about what is happening to our people. Let us not give up any opportunity to go out there and shout and cry, because by day and by night, we shall always be able to attract sympathies from 1, 2, or 3 quarters. At least that is what those of us who are in the diaspora, who are unable to participate in what is happening on ground zero, can do right here. That is also what those of us who are not contributing in any way to what is happening can at least participate. Bring just yourself, bring just your presence, and be there. My dear people, this is the time more than ever before for us to show to the rest of the world that we are worried. Let me take this little swipe in a debate that is ongoing. I see people have spent a lot of time talking about Maurice Kamto, whether he is for us or he is against us and the likes. Honestly speaking, those distancing themselves from Maurice Kamto, those wanting to make rapprochement with him, those spending time talking about him should listen to one of Maurice Kamto's most fervent and ardent supporters, and I should say his disciples, and they call that one Professor Franklin Yamsi. Listen to him. He reiterates things we already know. He reiterates things that Maurice Kamto himself at good moments has said. Maurice Kamto is clear and categorical. He believes in a one Cameroon. He doesn't even believe in the 1961 federal system. For those of you federalists who think that you have a future under Maurice Kamto, he doesn't even believe in the 1961 federal system. We saw Maurice Kamto distort all the historical facts that we know, simply because he wanted to advance the cause for the one Cameroon. Is there therefore any point to spend time that we have to spend crafting strategies on how to secure our freedom to be debating or to be talking about Maurice Kamto? I think it's a waste of time. Professor Franklin Yamsi made clear that even in the event that the international system through the United Nations decides to call for a referendum to decide the fate of the Southern Cameroons, of the once independent Southern Cameroons that we now call Ambazonia, it will be immoral for the voting to happen only among Southern Cameroonians. He insists that it will be over their dead bodies that they of La République du Cameroon will not participate in such a referendum. Of course, although they didn't participate in 1961, he believes that by conquering us as they did, by subduing us as they have done all these years, they have now acquired the right to vote and decide for us. So does that really make some sense to you? There is no point wasting time in debating over something that is not necessary. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Maurice Kamto is an opportunist who has continued to use the situation in the Southern Cameroons when it suits his intentions best, and to go out there and see how to secure his political future. We should ignore Maurice Kamto and concentrate on that which is beneficial for us. I will say this and I will repeat it over and over and over. Do not lie on your laurels. The times ahead are so strong. I have launched this call before and I repeat it here. My dear people, let us make the Monday Country Sunday a day of fasting and prayer for Southern Cameroonians all over the world. While our people on ground zero will be locked in from dawn to dusk and will be praying and fasting and praising God, those of us in the diaspora should do same on that Monday at least. We should at least fast and pray on that Monday. I am urging and I'll continue to call on our men and women of God all over the world to give traction to this idea, to come up regularly on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and provide scriptural guidance for this fasting on Mondays. We have to continue to pray and to cry to the Lord as much as possible. Some even consider that this one day is not enough, but let's begin from there. Let's begin from there. As it takes root, a lot of people who are prayer warriors can then dedicate their lives to doing justice, to staying in the gap. We need God more than ever before because the enemy before us is extremely spiritual. We must pay heed to this. My dear people, let us get ready, go out there and demonstrate again. To God be the glory. And see you on March 6, 2020 at exactly midday. I will be in Washington personally. Thank you.